Yo, I am in a different type of mood today, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Coach Dusty here with another video. Today we're going to be doing a graphics settings for Call of Duty Cold War. I've been messing around with my settings on this game since it's dropped, trying to figure out what the best settings are to get me the most FPS, and I've been just watching the different pros, seeing what they're using, trying to navigate this realm of way too many settings. There's a lot in this game, so I'm going to go over exactly what my settings are. Specifically, I'm a controller player. I use a Battle Beaver controller, but obviously I'm playing on my PC, so I want to make this video specifically for controller and PC players. So let's get right into it. First things first, let's go to gameplay. You want to be on, or no, that was graphics. Let's go to gameplay right here. So I use tap to slide. This makes it easier for slide canceling and just overall not having to hold the slide button, or yeah, to hold the slide button is way more efficient. Tapping is the go-to. I think this is all normal. Normal. I have auto sprint disabled in this game. It's banned in the competitive CDL, so I don't use it, but it's also like they kind of changed it. It's like a Black Ops 3 auto sprint. So it doesn't feel like it did last year in Modern Warfare, which is what I did use. I like in Warzone and whatnot, like I use auto sprint, but for Cold War I don't. That's that for that. So display mode, you want to have it at full screen. You're going to get more FPS with the full screen. Obviously, the monitor is going to be set to whatever monitor you're using. I have two monitors, so that's why it's showing 1 and 2. Refresh rate, you want this to be at the highest setting possible. If you have a PC, I would recommend investing into a monitor that supports 240 Hertz. That way, you're going to get the fastest refresh rate on your monitor. So look into that. I'll leave some monitors in the description if you want to take a look at the specific one that I have, for example. I'll leave that down below. So yeah, keep this disabled. You want this NVIDIA Reflex low latency to be enabled boosted. For the longest time, I had this setting was locked for me. Like it looked like this one. It was locked. I was like, why is this? Like I was like, what the hell is going on? So what you need to do is you need to, if it's locked for you guys, you need to open up GeForce Experience. Download this if you don't have it. Download GeForce Experience, and it will tell you if you need to update. It will know exactly what your graphics card is, and if you need to update, run the update, and that's what solved the issue for me. So once I did the update, I was able to, I was able to boost it. So boosted. For display resolution, you want this at 1920 times 1080. Aspect ratio automatic. Field of view, I'd keep this between 100 and 105. Anything over that, it's like it's a little bit unrealistic. I mean, so there is players that do like that, but honestly, if you're going to be a competitive player, I would stick to what you're used to. Stick to 100 to be between like 105. Affected is the ADS field of view that I use. Independent is what it naturally is at, but I've switched to affected for this game, and it's a relatively newer setting. It's honestly not bad. Brightness, I play at 48, anywhere between 48 and 50. Yeah. Obviously, you want to be able to see as much as you possibly can. Frame rate limit, keep this at unlimited. Minimize frame limit. Yep. So for details and texture, all this is important. Now, I keep my texture quality at medium. If you want to get a little bit more FPS, you could put it to, I could put it to low. But between low and medium is fine. I mean, if you have a really good computer, you could, obviously put it up to like ultra. Like I know players like Scump and some of the players that have like obviously an expensive PC, they could handle the higher texture quality and still get pretty good FPS. Like I want to get over 200 FPS a game, so I prefer to keep it these settings pretty low. You don't really notice much difference at all. So honestly, between medium and low, it doesn't really matter. Model quality low, special effects quality low, screen space reflection low, objective view distance low or medium. I could put this to low. I have it on medium. Water tessellation disabled. Low, low. Dynamic shadows all. For the longest time I had this disabled, but all is definitely more favorable. Being able to see shadows in this game is honestly pretty. I'm actually going to change this to medium. Shadow quality, I'm changing it to medium. Dynamic shadows all. Special effects shadows disabled. Weapon shadow disabled. Ray tracing local shadows disabled. Ambient occlusion disabled. NVIDIA Bliss, keep this at balanced. If you see here, balanced offers both optimized performance and image quality. So it's it's a good mix between both. Me personally, obviously, I'd rather have I kind of rather that balance. Like for me, like I like to still be able to see what's going on in the game, but once I realize, once it cuts to a point where it's like you're realizing you're dropping an FPS, I kind of back off. So obviously optimize for FPS, but still throw in some settings that allow you to get a little bit better graphics. All right. Like for example, that other one where the low latency boosted, and then this one balanced. Disabled motion blur is very important. Have that disabled. Motion blur quality low. Disabled. Advanced display gamma. All right, so that's going to be it for the display settings, graphic settings. Let's apply those. Let's go to audio. So for audio, master volume you want to keep at 100. I've been just sometimes I'll keep it low if I'm watching a YouTube, if I'm trying to listen to a video and play a couple games, listen to music. I'll keep the game volume low so I can hear my music. But I have this at 100 if I'm playing, if I'm try-harding. So keep that in mind. Music volume, you want this all the way to 0. If you're in the if you're trying to clutch an S&D round, the last thing you want is for that music to start playing, towards the end of the round. So keep that all the way to 0. All these could be at 100. Audio you want at high boost because I don't know. That's just what I've always used since last game, Modern Warfare. This game, it seems like this is still the go-to for hearing footsteps. Enabled, default, voice chat enabled, and then obviously for this, you want to set to your headphone. And that's going to be it for that. The last thing I wanted to go over was, well, let's go through interface and then controller. So for interface, there was a few things I did change. Yeah, basically I want to be able to see how many FPSs I'm getting. So I have that shown. I believe that's it actually. Yep. All right. So then for controller, I play on 6.6. I'm seeing players play anywhere between 5 and 6. Seems to be the go-to. 1. Aim response curve type, I set to dynamic. Players either use dynamic or standard. I prefer dynamic. The best way for me I can explain it is basically dynamic. You're gonna get a better snapshot. Like you'll lock onto a player quicker, but you'll lose more aim assist throughout the gunfight. Standard, however, you'll have a worse snapshot. Like it'll be harder to get on the target like in the beginning, but once you're locked on to the target, it's like you're like a laser. You're not gonna miss any bullets. So I personally prefer dynamic because if you could just get the first bullet onto a player, normally you're going to be good in the gunfight if you have good enough aim. So if you have good aim and you want that little assistance towards the beginning of the gunfight, definitely run with dynamic. That's the best way for me to explain it. Controller vibration, obviously disabled. Come on, we're not bots. Yep, everything looks like it's going to be just normal, whatever it's supposed to be set at. So this one's important. Keep the left stick min input threshold to 0. And then the rights are going to be sticking, yeah, these are going to be 99. And then this one is important. The right stick min, basically what this is like, the lower you have, the lower you set it, the more responsive your analog stick is going to be. So I personally like to keep it very low. This setting is put in the game to help avoid stick drift, right? Like if your controller like naturally like moves around a lot, you're gonna want to have this probably a little bit higher than 2. But personally, my controller is pretty good. It doesn't have really any stick drift. It's pretty new, so keeping it low, it feels like it's very, very responsive, and I like that. I'm getting a lot more better snapshots. My aim just seems like it's, you know, it doesn't seem like delayed. You know what I mean? It's very, very responsive, the analog stick. So I like that. 0 obviously on the first one, on the left one, because this is just your moving, you know, your moving analog stick. So you want that to be as responsive as possible. Auto sprint, we went over that. Disabled. All these. All right, and the last thing, guys, that I'm gonna go over is under server latency. I have this shown because what server latency is, if you guys could see, basically the lower the number, like if you're getting anywhere between like 20 and 30, like obviously that's pretty good. The lower the ping, basically, or yeah, the lower the server latency, the closer you are to that host. So if you're getting like 90, you're probably pretty far away from the host, and you should probably move. I'm just kidding. But yeah, guys, that's probably gonna do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. It really does help out the channel. And until next time, this has been your boy, Coach Dusty. I'm out. Peace.